Hello and welcome to the African Transportation Convos. I'm always happy to bring you another episode where we discuss transportation in Africa as relating to the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And today I bring you wonderful news. It's buzzing in Ghana that a group of young men and a young lady, 12 of them, have made a trip from Accra to London with their vehicles, not by air, not by sea, but by road. It's not the first time it's been done, but I can see that they have joined a very small group of brave people who have crisscrossed the continent of Africa and have made it to another continent. And it's not a walk in the backyard. But what is it that we have to say to this great feat? It's very important that we follow them and look at this feat that they have achieved, because it opens our eyes to the continent of Africa. When you travel by road, it gives you a better picture than when you do by air or by sea or any other mode of transport. It helps you appreciate people. It helps you appreciate the landscape that God has given us, the land. It helps you appreciate the conditions of the road, infrastructure, and also the obstacles in terms of border crossing. It's what we've heard for a long time, that crossing African borders is very difficult. Now, when we talk of trade in Africa, the AfCFTA, for instance, you would realize that we usually talk of border crossings and infrastructure as one of the biggest problems that we face now. And as the leaders talk at the high levels, we get the opportunity to see the actual action when we follow people like this. So this group call themselves the Wanderlust. They are tourism and adventure enthusiasts. And the BBC interviewed them. Let me not talk too much. Let's listen to them, and then I can bring you the rest.
Story that's come to our attention here on BBC News. A road trip in the countryside, as you may know, makes for a great day out. But my next guest has taken it a step further, much further. He's driving from one continent to another in a group of philanthropists and tourism enthusiasts from Ghana, embarking on an expedition from their nation's capital, Accra, to London. There's the route you can see. Can we actually see it in full frame? Would that work better? No. There you go. They're going through North Africa, then through Spain, then through France, through Italy, Germany, and then they'll be ending up there. Now, the whole point of this is to raise money for rural primary schools. The journey so far has taken the group, which is called Wanderlust Ghana, through 8 countries. You saw some of them there. And by the time they reach London, they would have driven nearly 10,000 kilometres. They arrive in the UK on Sunday, and I'm very pleased to say we can talk to Kwabena Pipra, one of the 7 people on the journey, and a couple of other people as well behind you. Good to talk to you, Kwabena. Thank you so much for joining us. And I understand that you are currently on a pit stop in Monaco. What's Monaco like?
We actually are on the outskirts of Monaco. Right. We're yet to enter to have lunch. So I'll give you feedback when we're done.
Tell me a little bit about why you decided to do this epic journey from Ghana to the UK.
The simplest answer was, why not? We are adventure enthusiasts and tourism enthusiasts. We've been driving around our continent, we've been driving around our country for a bit, and we decided to take it to the next level. But most importantly, we knew we'd get some traction with the media, and we'd use it to raise funds to help underserved communities in our country through EduSports, which is a philanthropy organization which creates educational hotspots for schools in deprived areas.
Now, Monaco obviously is a lovely part of the world, and you've travelled through many different countries. Some have been a little bit more dangerous than others. Talk us through your journey so far. What were the highlights? What were the crazy stories? We want to hear them all.
The craziest was when policemen extorted us and kept us for 7 hours in Mauritania.
Wow.
That's
Why?
Not a friendly country. Yeah. I don't know. They started off by giving us one reason after the other why we needed to stay with them. They were going to impound our cars for 2 days just because they said we had infracted on their traffic rules. It's one of those things.
Kwabena, what was your favourite country to travel through?
There are two favorite countries. One was Senegal, and the other was Morocco. They are beautiful, they are clean, and the infrastructure is awesome. And the people, very friendly. Look, let me tell you this. There was a policeman in Morocco who we stopped at the traffic light, and he came over. And he was curious about the plates. So he asked us which country, and we said Ghana. Then he goes like, Abedi Pele, our footballer? I said, yes. This guy just turned on his sirens and gave us an escort out of town. It was so wonderful.
No way. Football clearly is a universal language, isn't it, Kwabena?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Tell me a little bit about the end of your journey, because you're going to end up in London. What are you going to do when you get here? Come and see me? Come and say hi?
Most definitely. Most definitely we'll come see you in the studio. And we also have the Ghana High Commission organizing a few events to help bring the Ghanaian residents together so we can actually pitch our philanthropy to them. We will be having a party in the park with the Ghanaian community on Saturday, I think, next week, Saturday. And so there are various events lined up to make us connect to the people in London and get them to contribute towards the EduSport program.
Have you made a lot of money for your charity push so far, or have you still got a long way to go?
We are on the road, so I've not checked the numbers, but I think contributions started flowing in this morning. So I'm sure by...
Yeah, I'd like to stop this video here, but this is what some people are doing and gives us a very good picture of what the continent looks like, the experiences in crossing from one country to another. And it's good to hear that there are both good and bad sides of the equation. So you would always have good and bad people, and good experiences and bad experiences, and we can learn from them and we can improve upon them, working towards the best. So that was the experience of this group of Ghanaians who dared to make that trip. But remember, several others have gone ahead before. So you remember this Nigerian guy? He made it in 5 days with a motorcycle alone, and that's a great feat. And now I'm also following some interesting young lady who is also making it on a motorcycle. It's not her first time in Africa, but I like Ichi Boots because she is taping as she goes along. And that's what we didn't get with the others. And following her shows the real situation on the ground. And I like to bring to you one of her challenging journeys as she was exiting Liberia. I'm not doing that to show, the bad parts of Liberia or whatever. I'm doing it so we understand the challenge that we have as a continent in making the dream of a one Africa, of a continental free trade area, a reality. Now, Liberia is highly forested. It's tropical forest. It has one of the highest rainfalls in West Africa, and therefore, to make a route through the forest requires a lot of money. It requires a lot of money also for maintenance because it's always raining, and some of these can wash away the roads if they are not made well. And it costs a lot of money to cross these muddy roads to bring goods, medicine, food, if you will, to people so they can live their lives in peace. Now, watch the number of vehicles that are stuck on this road. It's at a count of 10 now, and it's climbing. Cars, 14.
that she's crying, so. Just say how she can be crying. Just go now. She can be crying. Take time, the engine, take time. Engine, I say, okay.
And you see, all of these cars that are stuck here are not here for a day or two. They're going to be stuck here for several days. And what it means is that to the truck owner, this is time that is not productive, and they have to recoup their money for that, because the truck could have been doing some other business but for being stuck here. And therefore, they're going to charge the merchants much more money. What it also means is that the merchants who may be waiting in Monrovia now probably has a stock out cost, because he or she's probably run out of stock with the trucks being delayed here. So the stock out cost, he's going to get more expense from the truck owner because of the tortuous nature of this journey. And so he's going to pass this cost on to the consumer. So it means the normal Liberian guy who goes to the market to buy any of these products is going to buy them at a very exorbitant price, increasing the cost of living and making life very difficult for them. So you can see the multiplier effect of a simple road that has not been constructed. The fact that it's not a constructed road is going to cost so much, not just to the individuals, but even to the states.
Okay.
You see how concerned she is about her motorcycle. This is probably going to break her motorcycle. And what it means is that for all these other trucks as well, apart from all the cost I've mentioned, there's also maintenance cost for your truck or a vehicle to go through all this mud and this difficult terrain. You're definitely going to replace some parts, and that cost would also add up.
Well, move on in the what? You're right out.
See, 22 trucks and counting. Look at that truck in the bush over there. It's actually sinking. Now, can you also think about the driver and the mates who would stay in this bush for days, probably finish their water and food, and will have to get some from motorcyclists coming from the other villages? It's a hell of a time for them to get stuck here. And so they need to be recognized. During COVID, we found out how seafarers were stuck at sea for months because no country will allow them to come down so they can go home to their families. And I have a very sad story of a friend who actually died on board just because of some of these delays. And so truck drivers, seafarers, the crew from the airlines, they all deserve recognition for the job they do, just as any of us do important jobs in our various sectors or professions. Count is rising, 32 vehicles stuck. And see that convoy of vehicles, some carrying food, some carrying medicine, some carrying fuel.
Let's just cross the last track.
Okay, then the engine must cool down.
Yeah, cool down.
Because it's getting too hot. But this is the worst part, right?
Yeah, no, this is the worst one.
Worst one?
Yeah, but the very place that you find it difficult from the beginning, it's much easier than this one. So let's just help you to cross it. There's a little building right here.
Here.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
pack it.
But then after that, until the border with Côte d'Ivoire? It's okay.
No. Quota.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
okay.
okay. How long have you been here stuck?
2 weeks. For me, I've been
2 weeks.
some people going one more.
One more plugs.
And still more people are coming. They don't know.
No solution right now.
Nobody coming to fix the road.
Nobody, no government, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah.
So that go, then you will be ahead of us. Anywhere you get stuck, we'll help you and push it a little bit. So that just give you a last lift.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Thank you.
Well, look at the distance. Why they want to cover?
My man, a small way. Yeah.
She's super worried about her cycle. But now see the count of trucks rising and rising and rising. And she asked the question, if these other trucks don't know the conditions of the road. They do know the conditions of the road. They just have no alternative. I mean, this is the coastal road. See how deep that is. This is the coastal road from the Ivory Coast to Liberia. The northern road is the same. It's the same forest conditions, the same muddy roads. So you can imagine there's 40 here, there's another 40 up there, or even maybe more. They just have no alternative to get their goods from Ivory Coast into 42 now into Liberia. Now, this is also another opportunity, even though it's a challenge, because why not put this on a ship or a ferry from either Abidjan Port or San Pedro Port to Monrovia? I mean, there could be a business case out of this that has to be considered before we can discard the idea, or maybe it's an actual opportunity. So several trucks use this road, several goods move from Liberia, Monrovia to Cote d'Ivoire and vice versa, but mostly from Cote d'Ivoire to Liberia. And so there is that opportunity for ships to do this trip. It wouldn't take you a week to move from Abidjan or San Pedro to Monrovia. And so for those who have the opportunity or the money, they can consider this business opportunity. I think his motorcycle is broken down now. I mean,
My clutch is burnt. He burned my clutch. Honestly, I don't blame him. Some people were stuck there for 2 weeks, others already for a month. Can you believe that? All those people stuck there for a month. They say the government doesn't do anything for the road and there's no solution. So I had to get past it. So now my clutch is burnt, my clutch plates are burnt. I don't carry them spare with me. I have to make it straight to Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire. That's my only option. That is still more than 500 kilometers from here. So
she says there's no solution, but there's a possible solution for the road, or for those trucks to go by sea. And that has to be seriously considered if it makes business sense. I mean, we cannot just say as an alternative. The numbers have to make sense, and so it has to be considered. And I'm not being biased because I'm a maritime transport person. All alternatives have to be considered. I mean, this is a real and expensive trip to make for any of those merchants. And I think it doesn't bode well for the cost of living in Liberia.
I'll do it. Side or not? Because my tires are a bit bigger.
You're starting. To the next time, you rest small for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we pick up.
How far to Plibo?
Yeah, you will reach Plibo soon. Yeah. From the next time, you will be getting on a quota.
Okay.
Yeah. You will get on a quota. The quota is about 1 hour 15 minutes. You get the Plibo.
1 hour 15.
Yeah, 1 hour 15 minutes.
When these rural folks tell you that a distance is not far, you have to imagine twice that distance. Yes, folks, I think I've made my point. You can see the conditions of the road. I have discussed how expensive this is for everyone, for the owners of the trucks, for the merchants, for the individuals or ordinary citizens who go to the markets to buy goods that have gone through this route. They are definitely going to be expensive. Cost of living is going to increase. It'll be a big cost to everyone. And therefore, an alternative needs to be found, or these roads have to be fixed in order to facilitate trade and the movement of people. It's not just the business side that is important, but for the people who live along this road to access education, to access health facilities, to access their social centers, and it's all going to be done by good roads. If you're going to take hours on this road, when it's fixed, it's going to take few minutes, and people's lives are going to improve. They can be more productive, and they can improve their lives much better. So, to the government of Liberia, to the African Union, to ECOWAS, and to all the institutions that are donating and helping, these needs to be fixed as soon as possible. But we can also appreciate the people who live along this route as well. When I traveled on this road, I realized that they are very, not opportunistic, but they're humane in that they know the challenges that people face on this road. So there's an economic opportunity there, but they also show that they care for the people. And so they provide you with help anytime you get stuck. Not stuck like literally like the trucks, but if you need any assistance, they would give you a place to sleep, spare parts if they have. Sometimes they keep car tires even to help others. So kudos to all those who live on these rural roads. And thank you to all those who are making these journeys across Africa, Wanderlust, Itchy Boots, a Nigerian guy, and all others who have gone before you. We say kudos to you and thank you for bringing us all these sights and sounds and elevating these problems to our leaders so we can help solve them. And thanks to you for watching. I appreciate your time and your resources in watching this video and listening to me. Please subscribe, share the videos, and bring them to the attention of anyone who needs to know, and see that together we can solve this problem and make Africa a better place. Thank you so much. See you later. Bye.
See, my clutch plates are, it's not catching the next gear.